Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Black, White, and Red All Over. I'm Victor Dandridge, the hardest working man in comics.
Ryan Seymore, king of Comic Town currently.
And the birthday boy! Happy birthday! I just want to make that loud and weird for you.
Pretty sweet, yeah. I turned 45, so yeah, for those viewing, 45 years and 9 months ago, my parents did some stuff that I don't want to think about, but...
Were you actually on time or were you early?
I don't know.
Yeah, see?
I was...
Yeah, just to mess with you a little bit.
Kind of hoping not to have shown up at all, but
nope. Good luck with that. Yeah. Good luck with that. I'm glad you're here. 45 years later, baby.
Technically, it's the anniversary of the last time he touched his mom.
Oh!
Is it?
Oh!
And we've got comics for you too.
Good night, everybody. Oh my God! Wow, that was amazing. Is it? That was like you were bad. You made it so much worse. Good job.
That's what I'm good for.
Good job. I'm so impressed right now. Okay, so we read some books.
Yes, we did.
I actually have a punishment listing here. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah. Let's get into it. I want to talk about it. Thor number 6. I've been waiting for this for months at this point. Thor number 6, the build up. Every issue previously has had a moment where I was like, yes.
You don't feel like this one did?
No.
Interesting.
I felt like this was devoid of the punches that I needed. And this is what it took me back to. There's a thing that happens here. And I have a heartfelt rule when it comes to guest appearance characters.
Yeah.
And how the starring character interacts with said guest appearance.
Yeah.
If you have a guest appearance that's supposed to be of purported power and you best them in your own book, it doesn't count. Like that's because it's your book, right? There are certain characters that I feel should never be bested by title characters. Like you can trick them, you can skirt it, you can somehow, defeat them, but never beat them. And I feel like that happened here.
Yeah, because something major happens.
Yes.
But it doesn't have the impact that I think it would normally. So I can kind of get where you're coming from there. But like once we finally get that reveal
of what it was, the relic of it was dope. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. That was dope. I feel like the other guest appearance.
Yes.
I was surprised by their reserved nature to it.
Yeah.
I would have wanted elsewise.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. Because, not for nothing, man. Like, Donny Cates is dope, but I have to go back to Straczynski's run when he had, Thor and this other guest butt heads, and then his dad and another guest butted heads. And in that one, you never actually had Thor beat anybody because there's certain levels of people where that's not the thing. That's not the thing. Yeah. So it's my own personal. I don't know.
Yeah. I wonder why the Watcher wasn't there.
Right. Like that's what I'm saying. Like
that was like one of.
See, like it's one of those things where it becomes an artificial win because the stakes aren't there.
Yeah.
I even said that about Endgame though. Like I felt like Endgame was like that was like between Infinity War and Endgame. Like, I thought that was a moment that was missing.
Yeah.
In Infinity War, like, everybody's fighting in Wakanda, and all of a sudden, it was like, who's the big bald-headed baby? And then everybody's like all of us, we were like, oh, it's about to go down. Yeah. But it didn't happen. Did you like it?
I was entertained.
Okay. All right.
It didn't have the same oomph that each previous issue had. And it might have been something that in my head I just kind of built up.
That's also fair. Yeah.
Everything else Cates has done has had that.
Boom, 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 boom. And then,
it's still really, really good.
It is. I'm more interested in what, where is it?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
That?
Uh-huh. I want to know what that is, and I want to know what that is.
Right?
Is that maybe specifically that thing?
Yeah, like is that a story that Cates has got brewing that he's like typing away?
I'm sure. He does that, and he does that very well. But that's my problem. Is that's like a super side note to what this issue was.
Yeah,
and I wanted it in this issue. Give me some more of this. Come on.
Yeah,
but you didn't. But that's okay.
Which, in a weird way, is kind of how I feel about Dark Knight's Death Metal Guidebook. Bunch of creators like Snyder, Tinian, the Fourth, Williams, like just everybody. And it's got like it's like an anthology style. So there's like Aquaman versus the Cthulhu Batman and some other stuff. And the first story is really, really cool. I think that's one that's written by Snyder himself. Memory serves. Yeah.
Yeah, he's on that one.
So it's all right. How we've complained that death metal has all of the components of something really, really good.
Yes.
All these really cool concepts, potential things. This tells the backstory of how we got from Justice League fighting Perpetua, and then all of a sudden we're here and just like everything's gone to crap. And it's it's kind of bullet pointed because it's not the entire book,
right?
But I would have loved for that to be a 6 to 12 issue miniseries leading into, or even just like instead of messing around with 5G or whatever they were talking about,
do this.
Yeah, the entire DCU, like this is what it's going to be. So like that first story is really, really awesome. And then the other stuff I'm just kind of like meh, but like,
see, in that regard, like I've had my feelings about Snyder's run on different things outside of that initial arcs of Batman, and I have to wonder if this would have been another one of those things where if he had all control, would I have liked it better as opposed to what you're saying, which is he's letting other people play, which is nice. It's very kind of him, but they're not going to have the same focus as he does because this is his baby. And the way that he's coming up with all these different things, you can pass ideas out, but that doesn't mean everybody's gonna play with it, right?
Exactly.
You can't let everybody just touch your toys.
It's true.
That ain't it. So I took on Atlantis wasn't built for tourists. The main reason, number one, straight up, no lie, is Eric Palicki wrote this. Eric used to live here, and he's a pal. His sister is of high note. Adrian Palicki once played Wonder Woman on the unfortunately failed pilot, but you also saw her in she was Bobby was it Morris? Is that how you say it?
I think
Mockingbird on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She also fought John Wick in the first movie. Kind of awesome. So Atlantis wasn't built for tourists. Scout Comics, we've got Wendell Cavalcanti for the art, Mark Dale and Sean Lee round up the art team. So here's an interesting thing. So Eric, I know, dabbles a lot in horror stuff, and I'm really curious as to where this series is going, because for the first issue, the rhythm is off for me.
Yeah,
I like horror stuff. I definitely do. Not like the horrible things that you love that are abominations to mankind, but there's a rhythm to this, and I'm looking at it like trying to ride the wave here, because there's a cool eeriness to this that creates an air of mystery, and I almost feel like there's big reveals way too soon. Like we see how twisted stuff goes way before I think we should. So I'm really curious for you to read this and get your take on it, but then at the same time, like, I recognize that this could just be literally the beginning of something really big, so you gotta get through it and get there. So I'm really curious. Like, I really want to know where the next issue is going, because for my reading, there's a reveal at this moment, and you see what type of folks those are. That would have been the end of the book for me. But as you can see, the staples, this is just the middle. So I'm like, ooh, wow, why? Yeah, because I would have definitely made that the end, and then certainly the response to it, I would have kicked off with issue 2. But again, that's me as a different writer, so I'm really curious. I might even ask him, like, yo, like, where's this going? Because like, I felt this way about the rhythm of it, but it could just be that you have this bigger thing and blah, blah, blah. So it was an interesting one. But graphic design-wise, I love the logo. I love the placement on the cover. I would get that poster and put it in my office immediately. In fact, Scout Comics, can I get a poster of this? Please? Sugar on top? All of that. I'm just throwing it out there. But yeah, definitely read that one. Let me know your thoughts, because I want to know.
This is one Shadow Service number 1, Vault Comics. This is one that, when I think the blurb in previous catalog, or the series catalog for us retailers to order from, was like MI666. I didn't read anything past that.
You almost don't need to.
Yeah, I was like, done. Mission accomplished.
Because I was like, oh, that's pretty dope. So I picked it up on the strength of it being a #1 from Vault.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even read the back. I was like, let me just, it's Vault. Vault's doing some wild stuff. It's a #1 issue. Let me jump in. Okay, so here is the warning, I guess. It is very British. Like, in terms of language, tone, if you don't vibe with that, this will be a difficult read for you.
Yeah, actually.
So you got to be attuned to that.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Man.
Like Kevin Scott, Cornhall, Howell, Trina Farrell, and World Design, y'all killed it. The art, the color, everything. It's another book in this, like, we're living in a time period where we're getting a lot of really, really strong women characters that are protagonists. This one, you find out 2 pages in she's a witch.
Yeah.
But, like, she's a private investigator. That's a witch. So it's, like, really, really, really cool. It is, the stuff that happens is very Constantine-ish.
Yes, very.
Which, if you've been reading Constantine, you're like, yeah, it's lacking that oomph.
There you go.
Right here. It all went here. It's so good, and kind of the opposite of Atlantis. It paces to
really
where that
well.
last part.
Really well, man. That's what, maybe that's part of, you know what? Dang it. Now that you say that, I didn't even think about it. I did read that first before I read Atlantis. So that does do that. You know what? Okay, so here's a funny thing.
So gross.
I know. God. Okay, so my lady's been watching Hannibal, and
oh, dude, that show is so beautiful.
That's one word to use. Not a word I would use, but okay. It wasn't until we were flipping through this just now that I realized why I love the art so much. Because Corin does dark red. Yep. Right? Like, I'm just like, why do I? It feels so familiar, but this is the #1. This doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Dark red.
Dark
That's
red.
why.
Yeah.
And I am a fan. Again, also a part of the growing horror culture in comics right now that isn't just like jump scary zombie stuff, but some thoughtful different takes. It's a new genre. Jump into it. Pretty please. By all means. Cool. I definitely enjoyed that one. Okay, so up here we've got 2 the same. No, one the same. One the same.
2 with the same publisher.
And man, I was so torn on whether or not to read that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, yeah, bring that one. Do that one first.
Want me to do Dead Day?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Ryan Parrott, Evgeny Bornyakov. Dead Day #2 from Aftershock. It feels like it's been a long time since issue 1 came out. So a quick catch up. Dead Day. Once every year, a few years, there's a day that nobody quite knows when it's going to happen, but the dead come back to life, and they can then interact. They're not like mindless zombies, hungering. Oh yeah, they're decomposed as they would be, but they're still fully functioning mentally as they were alive. And so some of them want to visit family, some of them want to find the person that stole their shoes. Like it's all across the board. And so in this one, there's 2 stories running concurrently. But the one that I love the most is the one where there's this woman. She sneaks away from her husband and kid, and she meets up with her previous lover.
Yes,
who's been dead and missing missing. I mean, he's in a hole in the ground for years, and so it's like this revenge story that
when they get to the bar, man.
Yeah, that bar scene was really, really cool because you can it makes sense that they would feel that way. Like at the same time, it's just the emotions are.
Shout out though,
well.
Mama ain't no snitch. Mama ain't no snitch.
Yeah,
I got mad credit. Mama ain't no snitch. I'm
so
there.
Very, very cool, and it's #1. It's only #2, so #1s are out there, but #1s were strip cover returnable if orders were made to a certain quantity. So you're probably going to want to hit up your local shop and be like, "Do you guys still have some #1s?" And pick it up.
Yeah, get that. So from Aftershock, I took on Artemis the Assassin, and the Assassin #4. So this, this series, female protagonist, is becoming way more interesting than just your typical time travel joint. We're talking like literal time travel across whole timelines, and there's now the better reveal of the big conspiracy behind it all. That the person pulling the strings of the time travelers and why that's starting to be set up. Oh, ancient conspiracy. This is a book up your alley. Yes. Like legit. It's a good oh wait, let me tell you guys who did this whole shebang. We got Stephanie Phillips on the writing and Francesca Fantini on the art. This one is like super dope. Like this is one that I expect to be made into a show with a decent budget, so that way we can see all the different points in time in this one, because we cover places and it's kind of amazing. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah, it's one I'm really kind of like, it hasn't been optioned yet. That I'm aware of.
I'm surprised. But I mean, I think we're still waiting to see the big rollout for Aftershock titles in other media. So hopefully this will be one of those ones that gets that treatment, gets that nod, because it deserves it. 4 issues in, I've enjoyed it thoroughly. Yeah. And some very interesting questions, some thought exercises involved there. Where do you want to go?
I do Cardinal Dagon.
Of course.
Okay, so Behemoth, who I've loved for the Osiris Path and hate because I want to use that title for my Doom Metal album. So they've got one called Cardinal Dagon. Very much not for
the young ones.
Okay. Those easily offended. Written by Massimo Rossi, with art by Giuseppe Constable, color by Renato Stavanto. All right, so. You can tell by the
oh my god, that first page.
So in this story, it's all about the bad guys, in air quotes. So the Antichrist was apparently born in the 30s, but decided it wasn't time for the world to end. And so for generations, there have been black popes that have been waiting to usher in the apocalypse.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So it's, I guess if you're a fan of American Horror Story Apocalypse and that vibe, you might want to look into this. It's very much, if you're easily offended by things of a religious nature,
stay away from it.
Stay far away from this book. But this Cardinal Dagon has been charged with, doing what the Black Pope would have done, but the Black Pope's dead. So he's got to usher in the apocalypse. He's been given his checklist. He's been given his bodyguard. It's a total comedy. Like, it's a horror, but it's a comedy and that going on at the same time. So,
oh my god.
Yeah. My one thing is, Behemoth people, if you're watching, what I really, really feel like you need to do for this book is get Nurgle from Behemoth on board for a cameo somewhere.
Wow.
Like, you really, really ought to, because it's.
I think I'm going to reach out to my buddy Dan Leister and suggest that he find a way to do a cover or something, because this is up his alley.
It's so
park the car.
It's so metal.
Yeah,
that's so metal.
That's awesome.
But yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, if you're easily offended, no.
I like the graphic design of the back cover too.
Like
who says that? This guy. But I mean it. It looks dope.
On the back it says action, religious, mature.
In that order. Kind of, sort of. Yeah. Maybe. All right. So I took on Batman 97, Joker War Part 3. James Tynion IV. We've got Jimenez on the artwork. Colors are freaking amazing. Moray. We're seeing more of this descent of Batman into crazy, as Joker is literally tearing him apart at his core. Like, he's already taken his money. Now it's really about like dismantling the origin of Batman, and that's rude. Like, you don't strike a man out at like his beginning points. Yeah, because that's not even just like talking about his mama. Yeah. Like, you're literally playing around with what made him become the Bat. Yeah, and that's dark even for Mr. J. Like, I have to admit, like that's some dark stuff. We are going to see. It looks like the girl fight that we've been itching for, the battle of the X versus the Next, and Punchline and Harley are gonna they're gonna duke it out, and my money's on Harley. No disrespect to Punchline, she came with a new toxin that drugged Batman, which is cool. Yeah, respect.
Harley's got years of
experience. Yeah, she's got experience. That's all I'm saying.
Who else has experience? Gran has experience.
Yes. Well said. Well said. Once in Future, issue 10, Karen Gillan, Dan Mora, Tamara Bonvillain. This series, again, it's like the coolest Cliff Notes ever.
It gives. It's like,
It does so very well. So there's a thing that shows up. Mm-hmm. Oh my God,
that was amazing.
Because it was one thing for them to call it out.
Yeah.
It was another thing for them to actually do it.
Yeah.
And that made it better. There's a celeb cameo in this that, thank you. Thank you very, very much.
I don't know which one of you it was that came up with it, but
doesn't matter.
Thank you.
Thank you. The gift was ours, but as the monster of this one is making its presence known, I'm like reading this, having, been moderately literate. I'm like, oh, y'all have screwed up. Y'all have screwed up. And when Gran realizes what's needed, I was like, oh, what you gonna do now? What are you gonna do? Okay, let me ask you this question. Mm-hmm. You're working at this retirement home, we'll call it, and you meet a woman like Gran. Mm-hmm. Do you come in the next day after this?
After?
Yeah. After this, do you find a way to clock in, or are you permanently on the list? No. Okay.
No.
I understand, man. I'm not gonna lie. I would clock in. You know why? I just want to talk to her.
No,
this is my last day. It's definitely my last day.
It's my last day.
But I want to talk to you. I want to ask you questions and be like,
so
what was that all about? You done that before? You look like you've done that before. And
whatever that was, ripped up Ted and threw him at us.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, I'm gonna quit and start my new career as a comic book creator. But you seem to have some stories in you that I might want to.
Perhaps I slide you a $5 bill.
Would you like to be a guest on my podcast? Yeah. I'm just curious if you want to tell some stories about your upbringing, your history. I'm just curious. I'm just curious. You'll meet her stuff.
She goes from that eccentric woman who's got stories, whatever, to holy crap, there's a monster.
She is a woman of action.
Yeah,
she is a woman of action, and when she tells you to move, it's in your best interest.
Yeah, usually is. Unless you're Ted and you get ripped
oh my
in half.
God. But she was like, no, he's just using to draw people out of hiding. I'm like, why is it so smart? But that's a terrible Raptor-esque move.
And I'm like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Right, because I would have been like, oh no, Ted. And you got me.
Dang
it. You got me. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yes.
But yeah, when she realizes well, tell me how this thing, and they're like, yeah, you need this. And he's like, oh, of course.
Oh. Yeah. It's such a refreshing take on myths, legends, and also the monster hunter trope.
Yes.
That we've come to be accustomed to with Buffy or whatever. No.
Okay, so here's the question. Mm-hmm. You're casting this film. Who do you pick as Gran? The Dame Judi Dench?
Helen Mirren?
I was just about to say Helen Mirren.
I'm thinking Helen Mirren.
Okay! This is why we're friends, right here. That's literally what I was about to say. Yes. And that would be the greatest movie of all time. Let's just...
It would be.
Yeah. I would pick, hilariously, Jason Statham as her grandson.
He would have... But wearing a toupee.
Obviously
a toupee.
An obvious toupee. Yes. And running around, because how hilarious would it be for Jason Statham to run around and act as though he does not know what to do? That would be hilarious. That would be true acting, because we're all expecting, he's going to kick him in the face.
No. Like Sean Connery in Last Crusade.
Boom. I remembered my Charlemagne. That's what we're looking at, people. Oh my God, this needs to happen. I need it 100%. Matter of fact, Sean Connery can be in it. He can be one of the guys that lives at the facility. That'd be amazing.
Phenomenal.
Yes, and Helen keeps trying to hit on him, even though he's like, I'm married. She's like, and
I'm
not worried about it.
So
my wife is right here. And she can watch. I don't care.
Have you heard the story of Guinevere and Arthur?
let me spin your tail real quick. Wait, and then of course Sean Connery will be like, I know that story really well, actually.
Yeah.
You gonna tell this to me on my first night? Is that what you're gonna do? Ladies and gentlemen, that was the worst the worst. I apologize. I absolutely apologize. But if you like this kind of goodness, and you should, definitely click the like button on this episode because we got this for you.
Comment below.
Yes.
Let us know what you think of any of these books. What did you pick up and read this week?
That's what we want to know. Yes. And every week we're doing this for you. So if you want to get notified, click the subscribe button and the bell notification so that way it comes to your DM every week.
Every week.
Drop it like a habit, a bad one.